What's going on, guys? I'm Louie here. This is
Amy.
Welcome back to Sin City Living. This episode of Crossfire, we're going to be going over the worst games to deal in the casino. It's all going to be opinionated, of course. Now, I'd say Amy, out of the three of us, has the most experience dealing, and she's dealt the most games, so I'm going to let her start it off.
For me, my least favorites would probably be Mississippi Stud and Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
See, I'm going to disagree with you right there. I've never dealt Mississippi. I've never dealt Mississippi, but
have you dealt Let It Ride?
No, I have not dealt Let It Ride.
It is Let It Ride's equally ugly sister.
I've never dealt Let It Ride. I've heard horror stories from Let It Ride.
Let It Die.
Let It Die. But Ultimate Texas, I love me some UTH.
I like playing it. I cannot stand dealing it.
Oh man, I love to play it.
Dealt poker, and I've got some unresolved issues with some poker players that I've encountered, and it just trickles over. You get the jerks that want to squeeze their cards and roll them up like they do in the poker, and it's just absolutely unnecessary. And I hate the sound of chip shuffling, and that's all they do, and it just drives me absolutely insane. I just can't. And they're not even good at it. They just go everywhere.
My opinion, I would think. Well, let's elaborate a little bit on this, because every game is different on how you deal. Let's say I deal a roulette game. I can deal a roulette game with a $10 minimum, right?
Easy.
Pretty decent, right? You got most of the players playing the $5 minimums and all that jazz. So you're not going to be as busy, as backed up. You're not going to have stacks this high that are rainbow bets. But I dealt 25 Cent Roulette.
Oh man.
That I would say that is one of the worst games to deal, quarter roulette. Oh my gosh, people would buy in for like $10, $20, and you have just stacks on every number, every corner, every split is about this high.
Every street, every double street,
my gosh.
just every way to the number.
You spin the ball, and you're hoping that one number,
little empty spot is
right.
See, I was known at the last casino I dealt at for being an absolute wizard as to where I could have 1,000 chips on the table and one number with nothing on it, and I will hit that one number 9 times out of 10.
See, I'm the opposite. I'd hit every fucking thing. I'd hit the one with the most chips on it. Oh my gosh! And then I'm having to break out, clean everything. We didn't have when I dealt, we didn't have the mucking machine.
Mucking machines are awful. Those speed checks are an absolute joke. You look at them the wrong way, and they're going to go everywhere.
I dealt with speed chips with no mucking machine, so you gotta. And when you try to push, just believe it or not, I actually did not know how to push chips. I would use 2 hands.
I know that about you.
Yeah, Amy has helped me a lot with that, actually, with learning to push chips with one hand. 'Cause I used to just double-hand it because I dealt with speed chips. So you try to one-hand it a certain way, you do it the wrong way, or you stop. It's everything
you see,
gone.
They can smell your fear.
That's exactly what it is.
So if you hesitate, it's over. It's
yeah.
over. It's not any worse than the way my husband pushes chips.
How does he push chips?
That's it.
That's strong. That's strong. I like it.
Love him though.
Yeah. So I'd say in terms of minimums, 25 Cent Roulette with the $2 minimum. That was the worst in my opinion. But in terms of player-wise, Baccarat.
Oh yes, Baccarat, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
They would smoke so much. Before a cigarette was finished, they had another one. They had another cigarette lit. It would just
and then one randomly in the ashtray for some reason. That just nobody touches it. It just burns until it's gone.
Yeah, they probably forget about it. They got like so many cigarettes lit up. They got so much going on. But I've had people, I've had the players on there. It's mainly the players that are the worst. The game itself is not bad. I've dealt Baccarat, where it's decent players. You got like 1 or 2 decent players, and you got nothing to worry about. They're having a good time. They're laughing. They're joking with the dealer, maybe the other player, whatnot. But then you have not the dealers. You have the players that try to scare you. They'll mean mug you. They'll blow smoke in your face. They think because they're betting big, they can they can intimidate you and take shots at you, and it's the worst. And let's say they are betting decent. They think they can be more disrespectful towards you, which
and the problem is a lot of times
they get away with it.
They get away with it because they're betting more.
Right.
So they just encourage that childish, entitled behavior.
Right.
And I mean, it's problematic both for us, as a demoralizing kind of thing in terms of we don't have power on our table, which is supposed to be ours, in our control, and our bosses just end up making us look silly because they cater to people.
One casino I worked at, they had a separate room, and I remember they questioned me one day. They go, "Hey, you speak Mandarin? You speak Chinese?" I said, "No." The floor people, mind you, they asked me this. I said, "No." They go, "Oh well, 6 months ago, if you don't speak Chinese or Mandarin, you don't even come and deal in this room." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm fucking here now,
I wish.
Here
I am.
And I should have took their word for it, because I tell you what, the players
Put you through some shit?
put me through just the floors too. The floor, you have the floor. You can tell when somebody's talking
Really
trash
clicky?
about. Yeah, the floor and the players sit there pointing and laughing and talking shit, But
Well, that's the way it was over at the last place I dealt too.
yeah. Oh my God, I hate it.
The Paigao and Baccarat area were really cliquish.
See, I learned to deal Pai Gow, but I never had the chance to deal it. That seems like actually a good game to deal.
I like
in my
Pai Gow.
opinion. It seems fun. It seems like a fun game.
It's fun to play and it's fun to deal.
I enjoy playing it. I like to face up a little bit, because then I always ask the dealer, can you help me out, help set my hand, and they're more than willing to. That's actually one of the times I would practice it. It seemed pretty fun. But yeah, I'd say quarter roulette, Baccarat. I don't know why you don't like UTH.
It's the players.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I had some phenomenal players.
Don't get me wrong, over the years, I've had some good players, but I've had more asshole, entitled, I'm the next WSOP star.
I've had some
players,
of those. Yeah.
And I've had good players, and it's just, and my time spent dealing in a poker room, I can't. Nope, I ain't doing it.
For those of you who don't know, here in Vegas, poker rooms are separate from like table games. So you have the poker dealers and you have table games dealers. They're completely separate, and I can only imagine how it is dealing that. I mean, I don't even know how it works really. I've never played in a poker. I've played home games and whatnot, but I've never been to a poker room. I see them all the time, but I've never played.
Well, it's different as to it's not pooled. The chips aren't pooled.
Right. It's keep your own.
Yeah. And the fact that they're separate entities from the rest of the casino in terms of dealers and stuff, you could work in the same casino with the same person for 10 years and never cross paths.
Right.
So, 0 out of 10 stars would not recommend.
For poker?
Would not recommend. I got too much attitude. I've got too much of a temper. I just was not built for the poker room. I cannot handle arrogance and ignorance.
Yeah, poker, I don't know. I see people arguing in the poker room. Have you ever seen like fights break out in poker?
Oh yeah.
I would imagine they do, because I mean, it's not like they're playing against the house. They're playing against like other people's money.
Yep. And when people are losing money because, when player A just lost a crap load of money because player C went all in on some whack, 2-7 offsuit and just lost, $600 because he thought it would be cool to see if he could bluff it all the way through.
That's strong.
And caught something. I mean, fights break out.
Wow. It's a bit crazy.
It is.
So you don't like poker, you don't like Let It Ride, of course, or UTH.
Yeah. Or Mississippi Stud.
Or Mississippi Stud. Wow, you just don't like poker variants, huh?
Nope.
Except for Pai Gow.
Except for Pai Gow.
Pai Gow. I like, what about 3-card?
3-card's fine.
3-card's fine.
That's one of the most mindless games there is to deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty easy game. I like high card flush. I enjoyed dealing that game a little bit. But there was this one that I dealt a handful of times. I can count on my hand, like I said, I can count on my hand the amount of times I've dealt, but I hated it. Oh my gosh. It was like called the Wild 5 Poker. It was like the opposite of UTH. So like you had like 5 cards in your hand.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, you got 5 hands. But you ever seen like those magicians where like, they have their 2 hands and then the hand comes up? They had 5 cards, and then they had the dealer had like the 2 cards instead. You know what I mean? Instead of 2 cards and then the 5. So you had like 2 community cards or something like that. It was really weird. I really didn't understand it all that well. Like I said, I dealt it a handful of times, and it was just awful because I enjoyed UTH, and when they brought that game in, I loved it. I loved dealing UTH even more because all the bad players from UTH and all the people that think they're WSOP, they're going to be the next champ, right? They ended up leaving UTH and moving over to Wild 5. So I was like, yeah, and then all the good players, they would tip us, or even if they don't tip, just having a nice conversation, too easy to deal to. You can just sit down. They're not sitting there trying to like roll the cards and like.
Oh, that's the worst.
And then they're just looking for it. You're setting your hand, and then you going one at a time. To check the players' hands. They're looking for you to make any tiny mistake to try and correct you. And it's like, well, hold on now. Just let me get to you first.
It's like, man, I've been doing this for over a quarter of my life. You can kiss my nalgas.
Right. That's a great choice of words. My nalgas. That's funny. That's strong. It's so strong you gotta kick it into a different language.
That's right.
I like it. But yeah, it was the worst one. So then when I went and dealt the Wild 5, it was just we had the shitty players and like I said, it wasn't my strongest game, so I'm like, fuck it. And they had the machine shuffler. I hardly ever used the machine shuffler. Like if I dealt like UTH and some, it was by hand, which I enjoyed. I enjoy the hand shuffle. So the machine shuffler was a bit odd to me. I mean, saves time, I guess.
Well,
but
especially since they have you do a convoluted shuffle before and after
right,
places before
right.
you put it into the machine.
Right, we had to shuffle it anyways before we even threw it in the machine. It was weird. It didn't make any sense. I also did a little stint on Crapless Craps, and
how does that work?
It doesn't. I mean, people love it. I'm sure, and people love it. And it was an odd game, I should say. I only dealt it a handful of times too. There's no don't pass. The payouts are different on like the horn numbers. So if it'll confuse you in the beginning. Somebody throws is rolling the dice. You call like a 12 craps. You want to say 12 craps, line away. Like, come out. No, 12 craps. Oh, mark it. Mark the 12. Weird.
You're like, it just doesn't feel right, man.
People love it.
Have you seen?
People love it.
The new craps where it's on a machine with the dealer.
Oh yeah, I have seen that. I've seen a picture of it.
They just got it in at the casino my mom works at.
Oh really?
She says it's an absolute nightmare and players hate it.
Is that the one where they have the machine, but they have like a full table and you have the one dealer on the stick with like the glass, and they have to like kind of like half-heartedly move this like the dice.
It's like dealing dice with a tub.
Right, and then I heard the payouts are different too. I mean, I don't know. It's just odd, and I imagine that's a nightmare to deal.
Absolutely.
I mean,
especially rolling solo.
Yeah, exactly. You're the one dealer on the game. You're dealing to like a screen or something, or in like people. I don't know. It's weird. But you know what other thing I've seen? You ever seen those dealers that deal Baccarat, and they deal like on this big machine where there's like a screen and there are like a bunch of people out playing like mechanically or like you never seen that? That's interesting.
Are you thinking Big Buck?
No.
3 dealers on.
No.
Have you seen that?
I've seen Big Buck. That's a. They have like the paddle and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's a beast, man.
Yeah, that's a strange one. But what other game would you say is so? Pick your one. Pick your one.
My one worst?
Your one worst.
Straight poker.
Poker. Okay. Poker. I'd say. Ooh, this is a toughie. This is a toughie. Ah, man, I honestly think I would. Oh, okay. Put it this way. If I could deal Baccarat with no bonus bets, like no panda or no dragon, bonus, or no dragon or none of that, I'd rather do Baccarat than roulette. But if the roulette game is like a $10, $20 minimum,
or even a $5 minimum.
I'm watching now. That's pushing it. I don't know the keys. I do everything through the math. She tried showing me the keys a while ago. I completely forgot. So anytime I deal roulette, I tried to.
You don't math.
I just do the math. I math it up.
Nah, bro. Nah. Keys are easy, dude.
They probably are. They
really are.
They probably are. You're probably right.
It's just doing it over and over again to where it sticks.
That's the thing, though. Last time I dealt roulette was maybe a year ago.
You know dice keys?
Of course I know dice keys.
How did you learn those dice keys?
You do them over and over again. But after a while, I only use the keys now on like auto bets.
But I'm just saying, like, you could totally do it.
Right.
I could write them down.
I got like a paper full of like the keys.
Did I actually already write them down?
You might. I think you either wrote them down or printed them out. But it's like the Mickey Mouse ears and all kinds of other stuff like that. I have all that stuff. But yeah, I haven't done roulette in a while.
All I gotta do is look at the layout and you see patterns, and then you know that this pattern pays this, and this pattern pays that.
Roulette.
I haven't mathed roulette in years.
Last time I dealt roulette, I mathed that thing. Mathed it up. I dealt roulette about a year. Oh my god! I dealt roulette. I had dealt roulette, and it was I was on the right-handed wheel quite often, and then they go, okay, I was on. Then I moved to the left-handed wheel. I was like, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Why you don't work?
Yeah, I go to spin it. I gotta call a no spin, and I gotta pick up the ball and like spin it again. I'm like, the spin wasn't as hard either, so I gotta like, okay, no more.
For me, I spin better with my left hand than I do with my right, because you're not retraining your dominant hand to do something. You're teaching this hand from scratch.
Right.
So.
All right.
Well.
I think you showed me a better way to spin the ball with the left hand. And
yeah. I mean, there's so many different techniques.
Right.
To doing that, anyways.
Well. So in all, you hate poker. You hate to deal poker.
Yep.
I don't like to deal roulette or baccarat. Will if I have to. And it's been a while since I've dealt either game.
And for me, I could live on the roulette table. That's my happy place. That's my favorite game.
I live on the dice table in UTH. Love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for checking us out. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a couple comments or something. I'm Louie.
And I'm Amy.
Thank you for watching Sin City Living. You guys have a good one.